And now it's time to talk about our top story, which is all about how a first is taking place in India, where an Indian government company has secured a contract to go mining in Argentina, which is part of the Lithium Triangle, and has resources that make up more than half of the world's lithium reserves. Lithium, as you all know, it is part of mobile phone batteries, of electric vehicles, batteries, and so many other things, even used for treating some of very serious medical diseases. To talk about it all, we have with us V.L. Kanta Rao, Secretary, Ministry of Mines, joining us, as well as Rishabh Jain, Senior Program Lead, Council on Energy, Environment and Water, that's the CEEW. Good evening to you both. First to you, Mr. Kanta Rao, congratulations about getting this deal together, and I believe it is of extreme significance, being as part of the Lithium Triangle, Argentina there, and I believe we have things in the pipeline, similar deals perhaps with the other two countries in this triangle as well.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's a historic day for the country yesterday that for the first time we have gone and acquired lithium assets abroad. And this is a sequence of events that the policy reforms that we have taken up, where we have announced critical minerals, which are the future minerals which are required for the country, which go into electric vehicle manufacturing, which go into solar cell manufacturing. These future minerals are now notified under the MMDR Act, and we are making all efforts to ensure that these minerals are available to the industry, both within the country and also from outside the country. All right.
Rishabh Jain, if I could ask you in terms of how do you see this particular tie-up, considering the fact that for the present, India imports all its lithium, and most of it, 95% of it, comes from China and Hong Kong.
Right. So thank you, first of all, for the invitation. I think India has in the last couple of years doubled down its effort to manufacture many of these clean energy technologies, like Mr. Rao already mentioned, solar modules, batteries, wind turbines, etc., to boost India's economy and also create local jobs. However, as you rightly said, many of these products are currently imported, most of them from China, and historically we have been doing it. However, to truly indigenize, we will not only have to build capability for manufacturing, we will also require many of these minerals. So while India has already taken up many of these steps to mine many of these minerals domestically by starting the auction of critical and strategic minerals, I think parallelly what is a very important step which has been taken now is to also secure many of these minerals from outside India. I think both of these steps will ensure that we have enough minerals for our domestic demand, not just for the products that will be used in India, but also for our export potential.
Right. Mr. Rao, some people might be confused because there was big news last year that India has had some substantial discoveries. It's made some substantial discoveries of lithium reserves or possible deposits in Jammu and Kashmir, in Rajasthan as well. Some findings have been there in Jharkhand too. So people might be wondering, why are we going to Argentina to get the lithium there when we have it here at home?
Now, the kind of goals that we have set for our country for for the green economy, we need a lot of these critical minerals. And you are right, we have been very lucky to find 2 such mines in India through our exploration activities. But we need to find many more. To ensure that we find many of these critical minerals within India, we have enhanced our exploration activities. We have taken up more than 125 exploration projects within India through the government agencies. Now we are also onboarding private sector exploration agencies, and we are going to bring in a new regime of exploration license, where we will be auctioning not the final mines, but even the exploration activity will be auctioning for critical minerals, so that whoever takes up exploration will get a certain share of revenue in the final mining activity. So this is a new regime which will encourage many private companies to come and enhance exploration of critical minerals in India.
And these auctions will be open to companies from around the world, or only Indian companies will be able to participate?
Absolutely. The junior mining companies, the concept which is popular in other countries, those companies will be attracted to come to India. They just have to set up a 100% subsidiary company in India, and then they will be able to bid for these exploration licenses. And then we hope to find many more lithium mines to be explored and discovered in India.
Right. Rishabh Jain, what do you think of this process that India has adopted in terms of ensuring that it has enough lithium, not just for its current needs, where it imports all its lithium right now, but also its future needs?
Right. So a couple of things. As I said, the demand for many of these clean energy technologies will increase significantly in the coming years. I mean, in the G20 and also during the COP28 in Dubai, the global community has promised or pledged to increase the renewable energy capacity 3 times by 2030. So it also means that the demand for solar, wind, batteries, EVs, all of this will increase significantly in the coming years, which then creates a huge market potential, not just in India, beyond. Currently, a lot of the manufacturing and the trade is very much concentrated. Most of this is happening in China. So countries across the world are now looking as alternative options. Where can they procure many of these technologies from? So India is emerging as a very much viable and attractive destination to procure. Thankfully, we have many of these PLI schemes like for the solar, batteries and others, which are incentivizing manufacturers to set up these globally, to set up these facilities in India and also export many of these products. So I would say it is not only for the domestic production, but also for export, for exporting many of these products.
And Mr. Rao, we're exploring similar deals as we have with as we have got with Argentina, with Australia as well, which is the largest producer of lithium in the world at the moment.
Absolutely. So we, as you mentioned in the beginning, we are making efforts with many other countries bilaterally, like Bolivia, Chile, Australia. And in Australia, we have the same company, Kabil, is engaging with the local critical mineral office of the Australian government. And we are studying a few mines there. And we hope to finalize our deals regarding Australia in the next few months. And not only bilaterally, but also through multilateral arrangements like the Mineral Security Partnership, in which there are 15 countries. We are exploring other mines in areas like Africa.
Mm-hmm. And Mr. Rao, what about the concomitant challenge of securing similar resources where rare earths are concerned, where again a huge amount of dependence is on China?
You're right. So as I said, we need to look for these rare earths and critical minerals through increased exploration activity within India, and also through bilateral deals with other countries which we have just mentioned. To ensure that we increase our exploration within India, we have recently launched the National Geoscience Data Repository, which will allow a lot of private data companies to analyze the data and find out newer blocks and newer areas where we can discover these critical minerals.
All right. And Rishabh Jain, in terms of rare earths, how is the quest for rare earths going for India at the moment? Where do you think it's headed?
Yes, as Mr. Rao mentioned, there's new effort, additional effort that needs to be carried out for resources to be found in India. However, there are 2 additional aspects that I would want to talk about. First is the circularity aspect. There is many of these products that use rare earth may already be present in India, and we should ensure that through our efforts by scaling up circularity efforts, we are able to ensure that many of these minerals remain in India and the product is not exported after its use. The second is we can potentially focus, and there's already many efforts and there are companies that are doing it in India to make products which do not require these minerals itself in the first place. So either by reduction in the demand and then also ensuring that through circularity we have access to some of these minerals.
Right. Circularity is also a very important aspect in terms of even preserving the environment. Thanks a lot for joining us to talk about this major move on the part of the Indian government to secure India's future. Thank you. V.L. Kanta Rao, Secretary Mines, Ministry of Mines, as well as Rishabh Jain, Senior Program Lead, CEEW.